Hello, my name is Soha Darwish. I'm a passionate foodie, food writer and recipe creator. Welcome to my kitchen. I'll be cooking with you fattah. It's a Middle Eastern favorite. There's so many variations of fattah in the Arab world and the Middle East. I'm Egyptian with a Syrian heritage, so you can call this my fusion fattah, but I also think this presents fattah at its best. Basically, it's an assembly dish, and I love that you can get your family, friends involved while cooking and chatting, and there's no stress at all while doing it. Anyone, believe me, can do it, and it takes the center of the table immediately, and everyone keeps going back for seconds. I'll usually start with the bread. I'm using Lebanese pita bread and start cutting them with the scissors. So traditionally, you really have to fry the bread, and it's not only traditionally. I find they're just way better when you fry it. You can of course bake them, just drizzle them with some olive oil. You can even put them in your air fryer. So you see, this is what I mean. You can end up with these nicely shaped squares of pita bread just with scissors. So after cutting the bread now, I'm going to start showing you how I cut my aubergine. Ideally, I like it to be semi-peeled. I'm cutting them in like medium-sized cubes as I'm going to fry them. A real authentic fattah, it has to be fried, and for a good reason. I cut them into two halves. Because we're frying it, we definitely don't want it to be heavy. So what we do in the Middle East, we soak them in very salty water and then dry them very well. This helps that when they're fried, they won't absorb as much oil as if you skip this step. The challenge is not to eat the bread before you finish, until you finish assembling the fattah. I think this is just perfect. Just lay it on kitchen paper. So just leave it in room temperature. For me, addictive is the word to describe fattah. It starts even with its single elements like that, and can you imagine when you put it all together? Of course, you need to be very careful when using hot oil. Again, you can always put it in the oven just with olive oil and bake it. But this is the authentic way, and trust me, it's the most delicious. The aubergine, you need it to be really brown. You want it to be almost this color, you can see that. And you know that you did a good job with soaking it in salt when you see that the oil is not, decreasing. It's not like you need to top up oil. So now we're going to do the only cooking part in the dish, which is the minced beef. As you can see, I'm using the same pan. It's unwashed. I want to keep the aubergine flavor. I'm sure it adds a lot to the meat. I have here about 2 medium onions. Already it's a hot pan, and so they will sizzle immediately. So now I've added the beef. As I said, you can, of course, use lamb. Minced lamb would go very well with a dish like this. But I'm a beef person. I have some mixed Arabic spice, which I'm going to add. Sumac. It has this distinctive lemony flavor, brings a lot of sourness. I have some cinnamon, like that, and a pinch of ground clove. And I put about 2 bay leaves, I would say is enough. And when the meat starts browning, I'm going to add a dash of pomegranate molasses. This is not very traditional, but this is what I like, and I feel it just goes very well. It just brings the dish to life. As you can see, it's almost cooked and it's brown. I'm going to just add a bit of water just to make sure that it's completely cooked through. Just coating all these ingredients together, binding them together. So we're back to the not cooking part. Again, this is very easy. We're going to start with making the yogurt and tahini sauce. So usually it's a yogurt sauce, but I love adding tahini because I feel it elevates this yogurt sauce. I give it an earthy flavor that it's only very unique to tahini. So I'm going to put about 500 grams, at least, yes, of just normal yogurt. I'm going to add my tahini here. I would say for this 2 tablespoons is more than enough. Lemon juice. So I'll put here about 3 cloves of garlic would be enough. A bit of sumac, a tiny bit of cumin, and pomegranate molasses, just a really tiny dash, but I find it goes really nice. So this is usually the last bit, the top of the fattah. Garnish for a fattah, it has to have for me fried garlic with a bit of olive oil. It's completely up to you how much garlic you want on it. As soon as it starts to get some color and dries up, I'm going to add the pine nuts. So we just want a light golden color. I find pine nuts is just amazing with fattah. So now we come to our final step of the dish. It's the assembly. I always want to start with the bread at the bottom to separate it as much as possible from the yogurt. So after that, I'm going to put my eggplant like that, just spread it all around. Now it's the meat, and you can see that it's almost dry. I would say this would be enough. Now it's the yogurt and tahini sauce, which is seasoned. You can see that I like the messiness element. It doesn't have to be immaculate at all. Now I'm going to put my parsley. The juicy pomegranate seeds, it adds of course color, but also with the flavors, it goes very well with all of that. It's just all coming together, and anyone can do this, trust me. So this is now the final dish, my fattah. I would say this is a fusion fattah where I see my Syrian heritage combined with my Egyptian roots. Middle Eastern food is all about sharing, and this is the perfect dish to share with your family and friends. I hope you like it and you try it. Bye!